Hello everybody, it's Neptune here, and in today's video it's going to be a little different than everything else. I'm going to be talking about Stray Kids out of all people, as I actually have something to say about their latest album called This and That. And I thought I have to make a video about it, even if it's not my regular at all, about album reviews. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it. I don't really have a script here. I'm just gonna go what's off the top of my head. I've got some notes and I'm gonna go through that. Just want to say first things first. By no means am I superior in any way to talk about any of the topics I'm going to talk about in this video. I know I'm an engineer. I know I produce. Doesn't mean I have any more authority than Stray Kids and the producing team 3 Archer. Obviously, they're a lot more successful than I, so if anybody, they should be telling me what to do. But first things first, I've been listening to them since like 2023 with their 5-star album, which still remains, in my opinion, their best album to date. So I'm just waiting for something to top that, and nothing has so far. And I don't know what's been happening with them, because I don't really follow any of the members that much, really. I think I follow like 2 or 3 of them on Instagram or something. But other than that, I don't follow anything. I don't know what really happens in Korea either. I just do what I see online on TikTok, which is not the greatest source of information, I will be honest. But that's it. And I'm just going to dive right in, basically, and just say that I believe, as time has gone on from 2023, their music has got worse, and I don't know why. I cannot explain it. I don't know what happens inside of that. What company are they under? JYP Building? I don't know what happens. I've got the album in front of me from Spotify and it tells me that. I don't know what's happening. So, what was the first project from 2023? 8. That's 2024. But I believe that is still... Yeah, Rockstar is a good second place in my opinion for albums from Stray Kids. But after that, less and less songs from their albums were added to my playlist. So 8, only a couple. It's still mostly good. Giant, I only got like 2 songs from that, to be honest, but that's fine. And then we got Hop, Walking on Water, Bounce Back, You. They're still really good songs in my opinion. And Karma is kind of where I started having the problem with their music. I don't know why. It feels like as soon as they signed their new contract, after their 7-year contract has been up, they've just decided to release absolute shite. I made a review on Album of the Year about this project because of how badly I disliked it upon its release and how excited I was waiting for this project to release. I may have the link below if I remember, or I can find it at all. But we're not really here to talk about anything else but this and that, and I've been kind of yapping for the last like 4 fucking minutes. So let's start with the album, and let's start with the intro. Run It. This was a surprise drop to me. Run It was. I was just on Spotify one Monday or Friday, whenever it was released. And since I followed them on Spotify, it came up with new release by Stray Kids, and I thought, oh, there's a new song out. Like, is it just a single or anything? And it was Run It, and so I listened to it, and I thought, okay, we're starting off heavy. We got trumpets, and then Bang Chan comes right in, and kind of just takes me out immediately about it. I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit more later on because I've got a mixing notes section on my notes. That's what I meant to say. So I'll cover it a bit then. So I'm just going to think the production across this entire project is still quite good. A lot of genres. They don't sound horrific for the most part. They do sound well produced. At least there was some care. taken into them. And Run It kind of falls under it. I like the back and forth between Hun and Chanbin at the very end of the song when they were just going back and forth. And that was kind of all I liked from this song. There was a bit by Felix, I believe, in the second verse, that if he just carried on one of the flows, if I can just find it really quickly, hang on. It's the when he goes the ooh, da train me, feel me. I wish he would have then, after the feel me, he would have gone ooh, and then again said something along with the same flow, because that flow was really good, because all the beat cuts out, and I thought, ooh, you've grabbed my attention with that bit. So for the most part, this immediately right off the bat, Run It, it's like a 5 out of 10. The one that the Do It project, I can't remember what that EP was called. The first 2 songs on that project are better than this song right off the bat, and that kind of goes for the entire project. And now we have This and That, which is the second song on the project, and I just don't like the song. Just end of. Again, the production is nice. It's not bad. It's not horrific. It's, if someone said, "Who do you think made this song?" and someone answered Stray Kids, I would more likely believe them if I didn't know who Stray Kids were and what their music sounded like previously. It's definitely them coded. But the lyrics, man, what is up recently with all of their songs has just bad lyrics. The intro lyrics from This and That is everything I do, I multiply it by 2. I got this and that and this and that. That's not bad, okay? Simple, but simplicity doesn't always mean it's bad. And immediately after he says we could take a coupe or a truck, vroom vroom, what the fuck? Why is that? It just sounds like you're doing random words to fill up the melody to get to this. I got this and that, this and that. That bit is nice. The I got this bit, that's a good melody. That works. It pleases my ears. This is going to be a very biased review if you could not tell. And then you got cappuccino and Americano. I got this and that. What? Again, why are you bringing coffee into this? You got this and that. This song should be based on the title. When I first heard it, when I first saw the title, This and That, I thought it will be about success and what you have achieved, because you've got this, you've got that. You can have 2 things at once, like everything I do I multiply 2, this and that. That makes sense. And what's this? I'm gonna rip a show and then hit the studio. Bit. Wasn't expecting that to be said, but it works. It fits. It fits what I assumed the theme was when I first listened to it. And that's about it, really. I ain't getting no pain, I'll show you the way. I got no shame and I'm. Simple lyrics. And it's just, come on, guys. Really? This is the best you could have come up with in whoever knew how long you've had between projects. And it's just lazy writing, in my opinion. I said this about the Karma album, that this entire project to me sounds like a bunch of demos to be then worked on later. And that is not good. Any artist, when I'm told my songs sound like demos, I'm insulted and I'm disappointed in myself, because I thought I really liked this, but it turns out it's not as far as ahead as I thought. These feel like they could have done with a 2-3 more months in the oven, and then it would have been better to work on the lyrics. Anyway, we got After You as the third song, and the beat kind of reminds me a lot of UK pop, and I like that because I feel UK pop isn't something that K-pop does at all, really, because they seem to just be focused on America, and they just fucking forget about the country that's on the way there to America. But that's fine, we're not a very big country anyway. And America is the biggest music market in the world. I don't really blame them for skipping England. But UK dance pop is basically what I will call the beat. And it's not awful, After You. The guitar is also nice. It's kind of nice. And it's just that when I listen to it, I'm just thinking, why because I'm going to mention now, I probably should before anything else, is that the mixing on this project sounds terrible. I feel like the instrumental is fighting with the vocals because there's just so many things going on. And the vocals just can't cut through. So they overprocess the vocals because there's so much going on in the instrumental. Or that the engineer doesn't know how to make it cut through, which I highly doubt. Because probably the engineer wasn't cheap. You know, it's Stray Kids, that's like the biggest artist out of JYP or something, I don't know. Second biggest, the biggest, I don't know. And like, they definitely have a budget, but it doesn't feel like the budget went to mixing. Because they're a lot less compressed than the Karma album, in my opinion. So they've seemed to open them up a little bit, but the autotune on this project is just absolutely maxed out. And I just can't bear it. It just sounds terrible to my ears. It sounds confused on what it wants to sound like. And it just sounds misdirected. You know, that's why I like 5 Star and Rockstar, because their vocals sound clear, they sound natural. There's autotune definitely, but it's not cranked autotune that just completely sounds out of place. After you use a UK dance pop song, in pop, the autotune isn't really supposed to be that heavily present. It's definitely there, but you're not supposed to be able to hear it that well. And on these song, you can. I mean, it's not the worst song on the album by far, and because that is next up in the track list. It's not the next song, or is it? But anyway, that's just After You. It kind of suffers from the same problem of demo-itis, basically. You got the demo, you liked it that much, so you recorded the demo without thinking, no, this could be improved. In terms of this project, it's probably up there as either the second best song or the best song, because it probably will go Run It, After You, or After You and Run It. Surprisingly, they're the best songs from this project. And then after You, we have Farming as the 4th song. And when I watched like that intro video that they did when they're all on the desk, like the podcast scene, because I love watching those, giving me nice insights and behind the scenes, and they said this song is about aura farming, I just immediately just sunk in my chair, because some of these men are hitting 30, and I wouldn't talk about aura farming in the way that they did. And I'm at least a decade younger than some of them. I'm not that young. That kind of makes me sound really young. I'm not that young. But why aura farming? This is a line about stacking XP. Like, this isn't fucking Minecraft. Why are we talking about that? If you want to talk about aura farming, talk about your stadium shows, talk about your sales, talk about your status, you know, something that makes you seem important, because Stray Kids have got to be in the top 5 most streamed K-pop artists of all time, no? Like, these people aren't nobodies. These are well-known people. Hell, I know 3 Racha write and produce this songs. Can't you talk about how much... I mean, it might be a little bit of a scummy thing to do, but, you know, this song is about aura farming, if you will. It's about showing nonchalantness. You can talk about your credits or something, what you achieved with those credits. You know, you bought a house or something. I'm looking at the lyrics again, and like, money is discussed here. Like, they're rolling, there's no time for balling. I assume that means partying and all of that, because they're just working so hard, and they got inspiration, and they're just recording, and yeah, there is mentions of getting the bag and doubling the load, and like, yeah, you go, that's what I want from the song. However, it sounds terrible, especially the bridge and the outro. Why is that a thing? To me, they just sound terrible. And it just sounds like I need lyrics for the outro, sorry. I'm now going to write very basic things that I would put as a melody outline to come back to. Pick it up, mine. Dig it up, mine. Pick it up, dig it up, mine. Farming. And when I say this sounds like a demo, I mean it sounds like a placeholder. Like, pick it up, dig it up, mine. Sounds very nice off the tongue. and doing it once, twice is fine, but the whole ass outro is like that. And it's just repetitive. Like, could you not have thought about something else to put there? Right, I need to rush this because it's 15 fucking minutes and I've got to edit this. This is going to be so much fun. And looking at the other tracks, I Do, Way Out and Back Then, after listening to them again, I think the best thing to sum them up is basically, I forgot how these songs sounded like. I've listened to this album many times since the 7th of August. It's currently the 19th as I'm recording this. So it's been 12 days. Anytime I'm doing anything, I'm shaving, I'm sitting at my desk going through emails for my mixing stuff, I'm listening to music while I do all of that. And I'm listening to projects that have recently come out and I'm trying to form an opinion on. And this is one of the albums. And for the fucking life of me, I can't remember what these sound like. And that's not good. I can tell you what other songs sound like of Stray Kids. I know Do It has a very catchy pre-chorus that is really stuck in your head. The Hop album, I'm not including the solo songs or the projects, they've got like that whole hip-hop sound and it's got a lot of dirt in the drums. It's a very dirty sounding mix and song. Their vocals sound a lot better and a lot clearer and a lot crispier on that, and that's only 2 years ago. That's not very far in music terms away. And the further you get back, the better, in my opinion, the mix sounds. Because there's something that Serban Genia said, I believe that's how I'm pronouncing it, in an interview he said, is that now that you've got Logic Pro, FL, Pro Tools, you've got 200 unlimited tracks, basically, of anything you want to put there. So everybody put something on there, and now the song is bloated. And then it's up to the mixing engineer to place all of those instruments and do creative choices. But most of the time they're told to put back in those instruments because they're in the demo, and that's what the artist is used to. And it's just terrible, honestly, because that's what kind of the sounds like. Their production is very well crafted. I can't do this type of production at all. They are far leagues ahead of me, but I do have a pair of ears and an opinion and a YouTube account and a microphone. I'm going to tell you what I think about it. As I said before, this is biased and my opinion is not fact. It's just that when I go on to TikTok and Instagram, people are absolutely shitting on this album about how bad it is. And most people shit on a Stray Kids album because of how bad it is. But I didn't believe that. I wasn't hearing that. I liked it. I've been liking them for at least 3 years up to this point. And I like a lot of their older songs from 2020, 2021. And something about them is being lost in translation. And I don't know what is. I prefer an album that is short and sweet to something that's long and bloated. They've got the short bit correct, but not the sweet bit. Looking at the streams on this project has no mean a failure at all. I know that the members care deeply about their music, but I feel like something has been lost in the writing department that they've kind of forgotten about, or they've gotten too comfortable with these lyrics because they think that Stay, which is their fandom name, is just going to buy it and listen to it and say it's great anyway. And I don't want to see the worst in anybody in the JYP people. I doubt it is at all. They seem like nice people, and I'm not going to put the blame on them entirely because this music has got to go through many people to get cleared and then released. Did seriously nobody tell them these sound like demos? Because their EP they released before this sounds so much better, it's unbelievable. The Do It EP, it is right. It is right. I did call it that. All 4 of the songs sound better and betterly mixed and properly structured with actually good, catchy melodies in them. The pre-chorus of Do It, Felix's verse in Do It, Sungmin in Divine. The chorus might be a little empty in Divine, but it's still catchy. And like, where is this in this album? I don't hear it. And it's just a bit disappointing. And before I end this video off at the 20 bloody minute mark, I'm just been yapping at almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to talk about their Stray Kids Replay 2026 Part 1. I believe this is the second one they've ever released on this, and the first one was in 2021 time. So it's been, 5-6 years? And I listened to this and I thought, some of these songs are still quite good. Roman Empire may be simple, maybe a bit boring in my opinion, but it's much better than the last 3 songs of their newest album. Way Out, I Do, and the Back Then or something. Lover, the hook is kind of catchy. Lover, 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 does kind of sound like he's a little bit screechy, but it works for the song. It works. It goes together quite nicely. The first 2 songs are pretty good. I'm not counting Battleground, as that's a song from a Korean version of their Japanese release years ago. Raining Stars by Han. He has a nice voice. I have nothing really bad to say about it. I think the song is just fine. That's really all it is. The Little Things, IN, same thing really. Goodbye. That is a sad song. I understand the meaning behind it. I get it's what's coming from. Sungmin, sorry, I just can't pronounce your name very well. You knocked it out of the park. Good song, the only good song on this project, and I'll tell you exactly why in a moment. It hits all the right notes and it's beautiful. I can't really say anything else other than that. The stretch of Sungmin songs are all very good. He has a lovely voice and he always has passion in the songs he releases. And it's nice to see. However, number 9, Mic and Brush, we've now got the stupid stretch of songs that barely go above the 2-minute mark. I'm not against songs being just above the 2-minute mark. If it works, it works. But why do all of these songs sound like they were rushed just to put out on a project because they needed something to release? I mean, Mic Brush, Perfume is alright. It's the best song out of the bunch. Baby, Don't Say, My Name, Rev It Up. Lino and Ian don't have any songs. They've got the live versions of their solo releases. And Stay, which is a group song. And that's just, at least they care about the fans, which is something I can say. And that's nice to see, which is why I'm very confused about who let them release this. Because in this way, because why? The songs are over-processed in the vocal department. Nothing sticks out to me. Why is there so much tuning on Bang Chang's voice? He can sing. Let him sing. You can have autotune there. Just turn it down. And when it goes to mix, tell them to use Melodyne. Or they're going to do that anyway. If you're paying a decent engineer, they will do the Melodyning automatically. You don't have to tell them to do it. And they don't stand out at all. They sound like they were put on for the sake of putting something on. Because I know these songs were played live a couple of years ago, I believe. And I feel like these were just made to be on the road for something quick and fun for Stray Kids to perform and the audience to listen to. And not meant for an actual release, if that makes sense. They were made to give everybody a rest for a couple of minutes backstage and for them to shine in their own individual right on stage, but not to release it because these songs aren't good enough to be released, in my opinion. I don't know why they released it. Trying to put into words about how disappointed I am in the upcoming releases is just something I just can't describe. I've been following them for years, and the literal dip in music quality is so staggering. I've noticed it, and I'm fucking blind. Sorry that my thoughts have been a bit scattered. There is no script, and I'm just rocking with it. So I'm gonna end it here. It's almost 30 minutes of me yapping, and I'll go to bed. So Stray Kids, if you somehow have watched this video, please find your passion again, because it sounds like you have given up and are releasing for the sake of releasing, and finding old demos in the vault, recording to those demos and then releasing them without any proper care. Because why has the music quality dipped that badly? I was up, I was jumping, I was singing along. Now I'm just sitting in my chair, reading the lyrics as they're playing, because that's just something I like to do. Like, you know, there's color-coded lyrics, so I can understand and get a little bit of a closer connection to the song. But why, when I do that, I feel like I'm just listening to an artist showing me their music that they've been working on for the last month, and they want a second opinion. If there's any questions that you may have, please comment them down below. I'm going to try my best to word them and put them into a reply. Thank you all for watching this yap session, basically, for half an hour. If you've made it to the end, subscribe, like, you know, the usual stuff. Links to all of my shenanigans is in the description below. Almost said shit there, but I stopped myself. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully, if I've explained my opinion on this project well enough. If not, I might have to do a part 2 or to scrap this video entirely. We shall find out. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.